just kind of set the tone. So we did a lot of